The endless golden color filled all of Yu Hong's vision. He stood inside the black spirit, using his own holy power to support the entire safe house, preventing it from being swallowed and submerged by this mysterious golden seawater. He did not know what use this golden seawater has, but there was no discomfort when his holy power and body came into contact with it. This inexplicably made a trace of anticipation and hope rise in his heart. Could it be that this place is the possible existence of... Suddenly, his thought in his heart came to an abrupt halt. He looked forward, through the window, gazing at the boundless golden ocean outside. He was stunned for a moment, standing motionless in the main control room, staring intently out of the window ahead. Directly in front of him, amidst the large expanse of gold, floated irregular black stone slabs. These stone slabs were densely packed, with an unknown quantity, at least over 10,000. They drifted slowly like some kind of black impurity in the golden liquid. Looking from a distance, Yu Hong saw that each of these stone slabs was inscribed with characters. He controlled the black spirit to sail slowly forward, without decelerating. Soon, he gently bumped into the first black stone slab. Thud! A soft sound. The outer wall of black spirit collided with the stone slab, and instantly, a surge of black and white holy power gushed from within the walls, precisely encasing the stone slab and pulling it in. Standing in the main control room, Yu Hong reached out his hand, gently retracting the holy power, and grabbed the black stone slab encased within. The stone slab was not large, only just over half a meter wide, shaped like a rectangle with rounded corners. Yu Hong squeezed it and found the material of the stone slab to be very hard. Even at his current state, he could not easily leave marks on it. Source material? He speculated, believing only source material could exist intact in such a deep source disaster area. Only source material could remain unscathed in his hands. Picking up the stone slab, he looked closely at the inscriptions on it. The writing on the stone slab was unlike any language he was familiar with. Yu Hong pondered for a moment, then cast a language mastery spell that could capture pheromone information on the stone slab. But there was no response. It seemed that no pheromones existed in the surroundings anymore. He thought for a while longer, then reached back, and a translation earphone flew out from the basket of miscellaneous items into his hand. Turning it on and aiming it at the scan, the earphones quickly found a similar corresponding script system from its stored language library. Detected similar language, Heavenly Venerate Universe Zamba language, initiating translation. The translation device indeed showed its effectiveness, beginning a forceful translation purely based on its data. Upon confirming the translation began, Yu Hong felt somewhat relieved. At least this meant that although the great annihilation had occurred outside, some matter had not been completely annihilated and melted. Otherwise, the stored information within the translator, which was also the replication of all existence, would exhibit signs of disappearance. Through past observations and analysis, he speculated that parts of vitality life might be disassembled first in annihilation, followed eventually by non-living entities. After waiting for about half a minute, the translation earphone completed the content conversion. A soft female electronic voice read from the earphones. Source disaster is not an endless destruction. As long as the land of vitality exists, I found a place where there's no fear of source disaster's corrosion and ruin, no fear of the great annihilation's arrival. Everything there is eternally present. I named it the land of vitality, because it's always so vibrant. There are flowers, grass, many animals, many plants, and many ancient clans that hid there before the great annihilation. They've been breeding and thriving there for an unknown amount of time. I communicated with them and found they have never heard of the great annihilation or source disaster. There, everything is safe, but the only problem is that it's hard to leave after entering, and we outsiders have difficulty entering. I placed the method for entering the land of vitality deeper, on the border of the entrance and exit. To future explorers, if you are fortunate to read this message, you may attempt to go deeper into the source disaster to search. There, perhaps you can find the last hope for life. Don't give up, don't be afraid, as long as we are alive, there is hope. Wuji Heavenly Venerate Chan Shurji. Heavenly Venerate. There are actually traces left by a Heavenly Venerate here. Yu Hong was surprised. It seems the Star God King is somewhat weaker after all, as the Heavenly Venerate could reach here while the Star God Ji fell at a further point ahead. The message from the Heavenly Venerate only slightly surprised Yu Hong, but what really caught his attention was the information recorded about the Land of Vitality on the stone slab. Some detailed information on it made his spirits lift. Yu Hong reached out again, using holy power to retrieve a new stone slab. After translation, he found the content on the stone slab identical to the previous one. He then replaced over 10 slabs consecutively, and the content on each was the same. Why? Why did Wuji Heavenly Venerate manufacture so many source material stone slabs to record this information? Having found the Land of Vitality, why did he not lead the sect of the Heavenly Venerate universe to hide inside? No! Suddenly, Yu Hong frowned. Did the sudden disappearance of all Heavenly Venerates happen because Wuji Heavenly Venerate led them into this place, the Land of Vitality? The more he thought, the more plausible it seemed. Ever since everyone had annihilated and vanished, he felt intensely uncomfortable initially and had to replicate using holy power to not forget and feel somewhat better. He could guess he must have forgotten many things, but he couldn't preserve too much, only repeatedly replicating one, which was the trace of the Land of Vitality. Yu Hong let go of the stone slab, allowing Black Spirit to navigate through countless stone slabs. The Golden Sea did not obstruct him. Instead, the slabs, due to their crowding, continuously blocked the safe house. Yu Hong saw through the window that the inscriptions on these slabs all recorded the same content. He continued to maneuver the Black Spirit forward. Soon, a large number of slabs disappeared, leaving only a pure golden expanse. Time continued to pass. Day by day, week by week, Black Spirit moved continuously within the golden ocean. Bang! Suddenly, the entire vessel shuddered slightly and came to a stop. Yu Hong quickly came out of his meditation, arriving at the window. Outside the window, a massive, bloated white humanoid corpse was frozen by a half-transparent black crystal, floating in this golden ocean. The recent collision of Black Spirit was with the external crystal of this corpse. With a thought stirring in Yu Hong's heart, his holy power enveloped his entire body, and he suddenly flashed outside the Black Spirit, arriving in front of the corpse. He reached out gently toward the corpse crystal. Success. In an instant, cracks silently appeared on the entire corpse and crystal. The cracks grew larger and more numerous, until they covered every inch of the corpse. Whoosh! Finally, the corpse and the crystal shattered completely. Yu Hong initially thought that a large number of fragments would burst out, damaging the spaceship, and was ready to cover it with holy power to protect the hull. But as soon as the fragments exploded, they didn't fly far before naturally disintegrating and vanishing. At the same time, streams of long-preserved information quietly flowed into Yu Hong's mind. A multitude of images, fragmented memories, sounds, and scents, like a chaotic jumble, rushed into Yu Hong's brain. Wuji Heavenly Venerate? Is there still hope? In the future. Wuji Heavenly Venerate. Everything is destined for annihilation. So am I, so are you. Wuji. Living in misery. Dying without fear. Don't be afraid. Father. Give up. This is our fate. The end of destiny. Wuji. Heavenly Venerate. Your Eminence. My Lord. A multitude of different voices, faces, and scenes of ultimate annihilation. Yu Hong saw many brief fragments from this hodgepodge of information. The owner of the information was the corpse itself. He had already forgotten who left these fragments, repeating them over and over, but had long forgotten who their owner was. In the golden ocean, the snow-white skin of Wuji Heavenly Venerate walked quietly forward, advancing, till he reached the center of this golden ocean. There must be hope, he kept murmuring to himself. Everyone will be saved. I will definitely find a way To save everyone. He hovered in the central area, still surrounded by gold, continuously searching and observing, but found nothing. This seemed to be the end of everything, the origin of the source disaster. But he didn't know how long he searched until the gold began to gradually erode Wuji Heavenly Venerate's entire body, making him feel weak, powerless. His whole body began to solidify into a kind of black translucent crystal. He still found nothing, tried countless methods, but nothing worked. He couldn't find the path forward nor the way back. Finally he fell to his knees, sinking into despair. Why? Why did it come to this? I am the strongest Heavenly Venerate, the hope of everything. It shouldn't be like this. Gradually, the thoughts in his heart solidified, and he knelt there in the golden, completely still. Yu Hong was like a third party, floating nearby, quietly watching him, observing him and hearing his inner voice. Just as he thought the Wuji Heavenly Venerate had completely ended, given up. Crack. The black crystal outside Wuji Heavenly Venerate's body slowly cracked and fell away. Everyone is still waiting for me. I can't give up. He struggled to support himself, slowly staggering to his feet. He continued to fly in circles in the golden center, searching. But there was nothing there. Day after day, month after month, year after year. His speed slowed, and his heart grew more desperate. Yu Hong could hear him persuading himself countless times that he would surely find hope, surely find a way, surely find the origin of the source disaster, find a place to avoid all disaster. But alas, he found nothing. In the golden ocean, Wuji Heavenly Venerate finally stopped once more. He sat down powerlessly, seemingly wanting to rest a little. Suddenly, Yu Hong saw him stand up as if struck by lightning. His eyes were wide open, staring at the empty space in front of him, as if seeing some new change. I found it. Haha. I found it. It's there. A place without annihilation. I saw it. There, very safe. So beautiful. There's no need to worry about food or drink. No need to fear being forgotten. No need to fear heart disaster. Those who enter there will not disappear, will not die. As long as they wish, everyone can keep living forever. There holds infinite vitality. Chaos will never arise. That is a paradise of order. It's the most beautiful place I've ever seen. Wuji Heavenly Venerate walked forward step by step. He seemed to have really seen something. Then he began to gather black stone slabs with his bare hands and carved words onto them, letting them fly away. More and more stone slabs flew out, increasing in number and density. Wuji Heavenly Venerate's body became smaller and thinner, as if he was using his own body to condense into source material, creating stone slabs. He also made some black stone-shaped markers and released them. They seemed to be the black stones on the Vitality ship. Not knowing how long it took, finally, his movements slowed down until the last stone slab condensed, but he could no longer carve any words. He finally froze completely motionless. Translucent black crystals gathered and covered his body again. This time, there was no change. The crystals grew thicker and thicker until they completely enclosed him. Yu Hong watched him, seeing that until the end, his mouth corners were smiling, and his eyes were filled with hope. Even though he couldn't see the other's face, figure, or any detailed features, he understood the reasons behind why Wuji Heavenly Venerate made so many stone slabs. Open eyes. Yu Hong looked again at the golden void ahead. So, from the very beginning, there was no land of vitality at all. He quietly squatted down, reached out, and suddenly grabbed from the void a black stone slab where Wuji Heavenly Venerate hadn't finished carving. Marks remained on the slab. All were lines of repeated writing. Vitality doesn't exist, but hope cannot be abandoned. Abandoning it means losing everything. Cannot be abandoned. Cannot. No! Putting down the slab, Yu Hong looked around. Suddenly, he didn't know what he should do or what he could do. With the slab, he returned to the black spirit. Closing his eyes, everything in front of him flashed and shifted to a dark void. Beneath his feet was the canoe representing the Vitality ship, which stayed in place, no longer moving. Inside the canoe, a semi-transparent black stone quietly laid, identical to the markers Wuji Heavenly Venerate had made in previous scenes. Yu Hong gazed at that marker, reaching out and gently pinching it to take it out. The so-called Land of Vitality. Turns out it was all just a lie. A lie! The black spirit remained here, motionless. It lost the drive to continue forward. This was the final point confirmed by Wuji Heavenly Venerate. But there was no Land of Vitality here. There was nothing here. Yu Hong remained here, unmoving. He didn't know where to go or what to do. He just stayed here. He tried to jump dimensions, but no matter how he jumped, it was still vast and empty with nothing. This was the end of all things. But it only gave him an inexplicable feeling of loss. His only hope now was the enhancement of the black mark, continuously enhancing until he could grasp the power to reverse and redeem everything. This was his wish and his goal. Time flowed continuously, and the countdown on the outer eye kept decreasing and shortening. Finally, without realizing it, the enhancement time reached its end. On top of the black spirit, Yu Hong, holding a guitar, was covered with a thin layer of purple light, quietly looking at the splendid golden outside. His holy power now filled his entire body, finally allowing him to use all abilities of the Heavenly Venerate realm. Although his understanding of the abilities was still far from complete, his actual power was certainly much less than a true Heavenly Venerate, yet he had completely surpassed the Golden Immortal. During the last stage of the journey, Yu Hong already doubted whether the Land of Vitality truly existed, and Wuji Heavenly Venerate's trace message only confirmed his inner suspicions. Thus, his reaction was not as intense as it was at the Forgotten Belt. He simply felt disappointed and lost, then accepted everything. There's no danger here, apart from a golden expanse, nothing else. Without the great annihilation, maybe staying here wouldn't be so bad. He murmured softly, "What a pity." Turning around, he could already vaguely see a wall weaved from black and white threads, boundless, rapidly advancing toward here. That was the great annihilation of the wind disaster. Even if this was the core of the source disaster, they still were closing in. This made Yu Hong realize that no matter where one hides, there's no avoiding the outcome of annihilation. Estimating the approach time of the black and white wind wall, he withdrew his gaze, pried out the outer eye, and looked at the countdown. 1 minute. The next second. With a hiss, the outer eye blurred and vanished for a moment, then reappeared, no longer in the shape of an eyeball, but turning into a mass of black smoke. An intangible message flowed into his mind. Outer eye, also known as Eye of Origin, evolved from Eye of Time, able to see the initial origin form of all things. Since you obtained the Eye of Origin, you gained the talent. Space-time manipulation. Space-time manipulation, by consuming power, you can significantly reverse or advance the time of the target material or energy. Tip: when advancing time, it is based only on the current causal relationship. The resulting outcome is just one of the countless possible futures, not the only one. Since you obtained the Eye of Origin, you gained the talent. Origin Body. Origin Body, your body will gradually transform into origin elements, immune to all damage below Saint Position, with a 50% reduction in Saint Position damage. Since you obtained the Eye of Origin, you gained the Origin Realm. Origin Realm, Heavenly Venerate united with all things, can unleash the highest power among all things to attack enemies at will, and beyond Heavenly Venerate, it is when everything is being born or has not yet been born, with no associations yet, and elements remain indistinct from one another. This realm is not limited by the number of attacks a Heavenly Venerate can perform. After the information transmission was complete, Yu Hong frowned. He didn't find any capability explanation of the Origin Realm. What abilities does it have? Could it simply be that removing the 9 strikes of the heavenly venerate would render it powerless? Letting go of the guitar, Yu Hong's figure flickered, returning to the black spirit, and heading to the main control room. His gaze swept across a row of metal figurines placed in a hidden compartment on the sidewall, and he suddenly froze. His sight refocused on each of the figurines. Ku Chan, Quan He, Senior Feng Shuezi, Senior Fu Bai, and E. The features of each figurine were lifelike, with corresponding names engraved on different parts of the body. No forgetting, no blurring. All the people, he remembered them. Yu Hong paused abruptly, staring at the figurines in a daze. Suddenly, a gentle smile appeared on his face. Reaching out his hand, he gently rearranged the figurines, using a bit of holy power to protect them. Turning his head, he walked again to the window of the main control room. I knew it. The black mark wouldn't disappoint me. Since there is no land of vitality, then I will create one myself. His expression was firm, closing his eyes as memories from the very beginning to the present quickly raced through his mind. No blurring, no forgetting, everything returned. This origin realm forcibly immunized against the forgetting brought by the Great Annihilation, using its own method to replicate corresponding traces, leaving them around itself. Yu Hong was very clear this was only a replication, not a restoration. The essence of restoration must be restoring the annihilated objects themselves. And now, since the Great Annihilation was still present, it could only be a replication. Just due to the high rank of the realm, it immunized against the impact of forgetting. Removing the outer eye again, Yu Hong further added a strand of hair, once more initiating enhancement. Enhance the outer eye direction. All-round extreme enhancement. A black line flowed out from the black mark, streaming swiftly into the outer eye. A countdown appeared. April 11th, 67, at 9:56. After confirming the inquiry from the black mark, Yu Hong returned it into the eye socket, blinking a few times. Suddenly, his expression subtly shifted. Just as he was preparing to plan and create a land of vitality, he unexpectedly saw something from the front visual field of the Eye of Origin. Ahead was the circular window of the black spirit. Outside the window, in a gold expanse, a faintly discernible transparent pale white vortex could be seen, slowly and expansively rotating clockwise. Yu Hong blinked, confirming he wasn't seeing things. There was indeed a large pale white vortex, slowly rotating in the golden ocean. This vortex was about tens of times larger than the black spirit, with its form switching occasionally between circular, oval, triangular, and square shapes. It was constantly changing. Could it be? This isn't the end of the source disaster. The real end lies elsewhere? Suddenly, an idea flashed through Yu Hong's mind. As soon as this thought appeared, it made him shiver slightly as if electrified. If this is true, perhaps there is still hope. Without hesitation, he stood in the main control room. A purple halo emanated from him, belonging to the holy power of the Origin realm, swiftly enveloping the entire black spirit and the AUS spaceship behind. Then, together, they charged directly toward the transparent pale white vortex. But this charge only passed through the center of the vortex, as if merely passing through a phantom. Yu Hong stopped the black spirit, pondered for a moment. Could it be, this vortex doesn't exist now but was present once, or will be present in the future as an entry or exit point? He sensed his consciousness was naturally erupting some special intuitions after the strengthening results of the outer eye. Just like right now, he would never have had such thoughts in the past. But now, he felt it was a matter of course. After pausing, Yu Hong slowly raised his right hand, aiming at the vortex. Space-time manipulation. Buzz. A transparent pale golden beam shot out from his palm, passing through the window, landing at the center of the vortex. The time of the vortex began reversing rapidly. With the consumption of holy power, the ability of space-time manipulation constantly fed back the specific time of reversal to Yu Hong. 1 minute later, the region of the vortex reversed 10 years in time. 5 minutes later, this region reversed 100 years. 10 minutes later, reversed 600 years. The time reversal sped up, seemingly accelerating, and the transparency of the vortex began gradually reducing, turning more solid. As Yu Hong's holy power consumed about a third, the time of the vortex region reversed to 7,619 years ago. Finally, after a slight sound, the faint white vortex completely solidified, remanifested, suspended in the center of this golden ocean. Yu Hong breathed a sigh of relief, feeling the sustaining strength of his holy power around the vortex. Ensuring no signs of collapse, he carefully examined the vortex itself. A vortex opened 7,600 years ago. Unfortunately, Wuji Heavenly Venerate doesn't possess eyes to see through past and future. So even if he can manipulate time, he doesn't know how to locate. Without any hesitation, Yu Hong drove the black spirit headlong toward the vortex. Glug, glug. The noise, akin to the sound of water, echoed around Yu Hong. He stood quietly within the black spirit, looking out through the circular window. Outside was a vast gray-white expanse. In the instant they entered the vortex's core, the previous golden hue vanished, replaced by a pure gray-white resembling mist. Within that gray-white, faint glimmers of light illuminated everything. He could feel that the ship was still sailing forward, yet he couldn't sense any change in speed or movement. This should be the true core. Wuji Heavenly Venerate wasn't lying. He indeed saw it. Yu Hong's expression was calm, maintaining intense vigilance in his heart. While the Golden Ocean was relatively safe, he hadn't forgotten the terrifying dangers encountered in the Forgotten Belt. Compared to the bizarre calamities before the source disaster, the troubles in the core area were even more unpredictable. Time passed little by little. Outside there was nothing, unchanging white, as if permanently frozen outside the window. Yu Hong simply sat cross-legged, quietly experiencing his new positional capabilities, while only allocating a slight attention to the outside. Day by day, month by month, year by year, time flowed ceaselessly. The outside remained engulfed in gray-white, seemingly without any change. Yet Yu Hong subtly sensed something amiss. This apparent calm, hidden beneath, seemed to make his heart inexplicably uneasy. Sitting cross-legged on the ground, he gazed out the window, still finding nothing. Thus he closed his eyes, once more opened them. In an instant, he had entered the state of observing other dimensions. Inside black spirit, within the main control room, an elliptical red light gate hovered to Yu Hong's right, within which countless streams of red light intertwined and rotated. Yu Hong stood up, walked to the front of the light gate, not entering, but merely stretched out his hand to gently touch, feeling the changes within. Contraction. This was the only information he perceived. Everything behind the light gate was contracting. After a little contemplation, he retracted his hand and took a firm step forward, entering. Whoosh! Inside the light gate, everything remained just like the inside of black spirit, with no change whatsoever, as if he had never entered the light gate, never crossed dimensions. But Yu Hong discovered the source of the problem. The countdown has stopped. He gently covered his right eye, gazing around, through the countdown change visible on the outer eye. He had already noticed something amiss. The moment they entered here, the countdown had halted all motion. Time was stuck at the moment before entering here. Yu Hong slowly walked around the room, carefully observing, and he discovered another new issue. Not only had the countdown stopped, but even the flow of the array ceased. Everything appeared as a solidified still picture. Yu Hong picked up a water cup, a pure white lacquered metal cup, with a semicircular ear handle on one side. On the side was a cute pink little pig. But this cute cup, in his eyes, seemed to carry many overlapping shadows. As if countless cups were stacked on each other, light and shadow overlapped, creating a dizzying illusion. Putting down the cup, Yu Hong once again observed the other objects carefully, finding them the same way, all with numerous overlapping phantom images. For a moment, he couldn't discern any differences, so he exited the light gate once more, returning to normal reality to rest. Thus, For 5 consecutive days, he continuously entered and exited this environment with overlapping phantom images. Vaguely, he seemed to pinpoint the issue. The time here has completely stopped. No, it's not merely stopped. It's more like disappeared. Yu Hong's expression was grave. Initially, he didn't notice the problem, but the changes in the countdown each time he entered and exited gradually led him to the clue. What would objects become without time? Yu Hong had imagined it before, but at this moment, he stood within the black spirit, right within this space after entering the light gate. He reached out and picked up the white metal cup he had examined earlier. Gently pulled. Both hands pinched the cup's sides, pulling it apart. Swish. In an instant, the cup split open, suddenly drawn into a structure resembling an accordion. The white cup instantly turned into a white towel-like long strip comprised of countless overlapping cups glued together. Yu Hong released his hands, placing it on the ground, then casually extracted a cup from this towel composed of cups. The cup in hand faintly appeared old, much more worn than the original one. Upon releasing it, the cup in his hand immediately flew back to its original place, merging into the white towel. Yu Hong reached out again, extracting the last cup from the end of the white towel. The cup in hand was entirely yellowed. Most of the white paint had come off, exposing mottled yellow-brown rust patches inside. The whole cup was already at the brink of collapse, with no possibility of repair. The past and future of the cup? Yu Hong vaguely began to understand. He looked at the cup at the far end of the white towel, which was pristine and brand new, showing no signs of use. That undoubtedly represented the cup's original, nascent state. Setting the cup down, he went to look at other things. Books, a radio, a pillow, a pen, a computer. Everything like the cup could be pulled apart at both ends, turning into long towels. The towel was composed of the object's beginning and end, forming the head and tail. One side represents life, the other death. The entirety of an object's existence was laid out here like palm lines, crystal clear. Upon discovering this change, Yu Hong was initially intrigued, observing the transformations of various objects. But as real time passed, he started to sense something amiss. As a being above a heavenly venerate with an origin body, he should have infinite energy, not needing rest, able to create out of nothing and replenish his spirit at will. But in this white mist, he gradually started feeling tired. Initially, he was only a bit tired. Then, as over a year passed, this slight fatigue gradually deepened, accompanied by faint drowsiness. When drowsiness appeared, it grew heavier and deeper. Something's wrong. Within the black spirit, Yu Hong sat cross-legged, calmly gathering divine sense to replenish his spirit. He only needed to imagine, and he could freely conjure anything. This was the power of a heavenly venerate, creating from the void. Though in reality, heavenly venerates needed original particles to create objects, his current origin body required no original particles, directly manifesting whatever he desired. There were no unusual phenomena. Everything just naturally appeared from nothing, as if rightfully so. Yet, despite this, the drowsiness continued to deepen rapidly, requiring more and more effort from Yu Hong to combat it. Gradually, his consciousness finally began to blur. Sitting cross-legged indoors to avoid any mishaps, he concentrated all his remaining consciousness on the countdown of the black mark. At this time, only the countdown of the black mark in reality continued to change and lapse. Finally, Yu Hong gradually fell asleep in the room. He sat cross-legged on the floor, facing the circular window, eyes slightly narrowed as if gazing at the scenery beyond. But his consciousness had completely succumbed to slumber. Years passed by, and the countdown of the black mark resolutely and steadily ticked down. Yu Hong's body also began to show faint, blurry shadow layers. Not just him, but other objects in reality similarly began to exhibit overlapping afterimages. In the blink of an eye, several decades passed. The black spirit continued its inertial forward motion, but it had long lost its drive, as even the energy particles within the energy furnace had entered a state of dormancy. Just as the black spirit's speed dwindled, as if impeded by something, It began to decelerate, gradually nearing a halt. Finally, hiss! The black mark on the back of Yu Hong's hand suddenly flashed a streak of black light, along with which his entire being was illuminated briefly by a black glow. The next moment, the red countdown on the surface of the outer eye automatically shifted and disappeared. The outer eye flashed, blurred, vanished for an instant, and then, in the next second, transmitted a clear message. Outer eye, also known as the eyes of origin and end, evolved from the eye of origin. It can see the origin and end of all things. By obtaining the eyes of origin and end, you automatically gain the original object body. Original object body, you are the origin of all projected reflections, perpetually singular, eternally immortal. Immune to damage below the origin level, 72% reduction of origin level damage. Only original object level damage can affect your body, reduced by 50% damage. By obtaining the eyes of origin and end, you automatically gain the original object position. Original object position. All things are projections and reflections of the original object, allowing you to easily discern the essence of any dimension below the original object. You can slightly influence and manipulate them. You can freely condense existing objects below the original object level in any dimension. By obtaining the eyes of origin and end, your spacetime manipulation evolves into spacetime instinct. Spacetime instinct, the energy consumption for manipulating spacetime reduces to 1/3 of the original. The strengthening of the black mark concluded, compelling the slumbering Yu Hong to slowly open his eyes. His body quivered, and just having awakened, he felt intense pain erupting from within, spreading throughout his entire body. A dark golden pupil with a black scara abruptly cracked open on his forehead. The emergence of this pupil seemed to signal something. Immediately, hiss 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 hiss. In an instant, densely packed, Yu Hong's entire body, along with his hands, arms, and fingers, all split open with black base, dark golden pupils of varying sizes. In just half a minute, thousands of black base, dark golden pupils appeared all over his body. It wasn't until over half an hour later that this pain gradually dissipated. And by now, Yu Hong had completely transformed into a bizarre human figure covered with numerous eyes. From a distance, he resembled a monster crafted from countless black base, dark golden pupils. Phew! Yu Hong exhaled deeply and stood up. He opened his mouth, reaching in to feel the inside of his mouth. Even the inner lining was dotted with tiny eye-like vesicles. This appearance is too ugly. A thought crossed his mind, and a new layer of skin naturally formed on the surface of his body, covering the current appearance, restoring everything to its former look. Except now his eyes, his pupils had transformed into a black base, dark golden hue. Everything else seemed unchanged. I'll put off fortifying the outer eye for now. First, I need to determine where exactly this place is, whether I can establish a land of vitality to avoid the great annihilation. Yu Hong knew very well that if it weren't for the black mark enhancing his positional power again, he might have forever fallen into eternal sleep here, unable to leave. Thus, he named this layer the Eternal Sleep Belt. This is a place deeper than the Forgotten Belt. Standing up, Yu Hong looked back toward the direction he came from. The countless dark golden pupils under his outer skin slightly contracted. Suddenly, he saw the varied disasters of annihilation that had already completely eroded the Forgotten Belt behind him. Wind disaster, cold disaster, black disaster, etc. All source disasters began mixing into one in the Forgotten Belt, transforming into a colorful, pixel-like mysterious fluid. This fluid had completely submerged, eroded, and crushed the source stone plate made by Wuji Heavenly Venerate, turning it into the same colorful pixel fluid. It's almost like Source Disaster's version of original particles. Yu Hong took a deep breath and withdrew his gaze. Turning his head, he looked ahead, toward the other directions. Suddenly, he vaguely saw something flashing directly ahead. In the white fog, that thing seemed to be spinning, flashing with a faint silver light. His heart moved slightly, as he maneuvered the two black spirit ships, accelerating towards that object. Suddenly, the entire black spirit shook slightly, and Yu Hong felt a membrane-like thing brush past his body. Immediately, he noticed the scene before him. Everything started to distort, elongate, and rotate. Then, poof, the main control room of the black spirit before him, and the mysterious object approaching outside the window, along with the dense white fog. Just at this moment, everything vanished from Yu Hong's sight. The entire scene shattered like a screen explosion. Fragments flew and disappeared, slowly revealing a vast, dark, empty void behind. Within the void, a bright, white, multifaceted crystal gleamed with countless, unknown facets, slowly rotating. Around the crystal, like a spider web, a large amount of gray-white threads extended outward in connection. These threads formed a three-dimensional web, layers upon layers expanding outward. Each opening in the web was embedded with a pane of glass. Original object. Upon seeing the crystal, information about it naturally emerged in Yu Hong's mind. He then looked again at the three-dimensional web composed of white threads and glass. A clear and profound realization instantly surged from Yu Hong's heart. So, all things are shadow projections and refractions cast by the original object through dimensions. He turned back and looked toward the direction he came from. Seeing the colorful pixel-like Great Annihilation continually shattering the structure composed of white threads and glass. The essence of source disasters is to destroy all threads around the original object. And those threads should be the so-called dimensions. Time is a dimension, space is also a dimension. When all threads disappear, dimensions disappear, and when reconstructing dimensions, that will be the time for everything to rebuild. The positional power made Yu Hong understand thoroughly in his heart. He simply remained still, quietly observing the Great Annihilation speeding closer, faster and faster. A vast oppressive sense of crisis also rushed towards him at this moment, getting closer, stronger. The full spectrum of colors quickly filled his entire field of vision. Through the outer wall of the black spirit, Yu Hong closed all eyes on his body. Hiss! He took a deep breath. Come on! Kill me! Or be killed by me! Ah! All of a sudden, he opened his mouth, roaring towards the sky. His body rapidly expanded, grew larger, instantly piercing through the black spirit like a phantom, and in turn enveloped the two spaceships inside his body. His body rapidly expanded to 1 kilometer, 10 kilometers, hundreds of thousands, millions of meters, tens of thousands of kilometers. His size seemed unrestricted, crazily and infinitely growing. By this time, his body had returned completely to its original form, transforming into a giant covered with billions of eyes with black backgrounds and golden pupils. The rapidly growing dark body, along with the swiftly approaching colorful Great Annihilation disaster. In the next instant, the two collided violently. I gaze into the future. I grasp the present. I refuse to believe I cannot change the past. Yu Hong roared, his arms clenched into fists. Countless eyes on his body emitted countless transparent beams at the moment of impact. Buzz! The beams collided completely with the annihilation disaster. The transparent beams shot through the colorful annihilation, creating a huge transparent passage. Swish! The other Great Annihilation raced past Yu Hong's side, shattering all surrounding threads and glass, then headed for the core original crystal. The next moment, Yu Hong heard a giant crashing sound, akin to an explosion. Immediately, he fully concentrated, gathering holy power layer upon layer, blocking and covering his surface. Yet holy power was unable to withstand the ensuing impact. One ripple after another from the giant Great Annihilation's collision with the original object created massive white ripples that instantly shattered and decomposed the holy power he had gathered. But Yu Hong relentlessly continued, constantly gathering new holy power, blocking outward. Time after time it was destroyed, time after time it was instantly rebuilt. No one knows how much time has passed. Finally, the outer activity slowly ceased. The shockwaves weakened and disappeared. At this time, Yu Hong's body had expanded to an extent he himself did not know. Once he fully released his true form, his body kept expanding rapidly. The black spirit and AUS spaceships within his chest now couldn't even be considered a speck of bacteria, completely untrackable. His body was covered in scars, many of his pupils destroyed, leaking transparent blood. Thankfully, this blood was rapidly flowing back into the wounds, healing them. Yu Hong's massive body began to shrink rapidly, and soon, he was back inside the black spirit. He sat cross-legged on the ground, draped once again in a covering Taoist robe. Everything outside the window had turned into an absolute myriad of colors at this moment. The colorful pixels of the Great Annihilation occupied everything. In this colorful torrent, the black spirit and the AUS spaceship floated alone. Countless tiny colorful pixels automatically adhered to the ship's hull. Inside the room, Yu Hong sat cross-legged, gazing at the original objects that had completely vanished outside. It seems to be over. This time it should be true. Completely over. Everything outside was no longer in any order, without any distinction. Time had disappeared, space had disappeared. In his perception, the colorful torrent outside the safe room, its erosion and destruction intensity, had begun to slowly decline. The intensity of the Great Annihilation began to drop, signifying that this dreadful disaster, here at this moment, finally showed signs of ending. It seems indeed hopeless. Yu Hong stood up, his injuries now fully healed. There is no such land of vitality, even here and in the eternal sleep belt, there is no so-called land of vitality. Fortunately, Wuji Heavenly Venerate, you did not actually enter that vortex gate. Yu Hong sighed softly. Perhaps for Wuji Heavenly Venerate, leaving a hope in his heart, an unknown thought, is better than complete despair. As he looked at the complete chaos outside now, even the original objects were destroyed in the recent collision. The power of annihilation dissipated, and the outside colors began to gradually transform into new silver-gray original particles. Yu Hong, having experienced despair once, was now calmer. It seems I still have to complete this false hope myself. The land of vitality. It should exist. He raised his right hand, palm open. But before that, I need to regroup everyone's fragments. Even if it's only the basic original particles. Ability activated. Positional condensation. In an instant, a small silver-white metal block device appeared in Yu Hong's hand. This was the particle tracker. The essence of the original object position can condense any emerging matter, as long as it can exist, from any dimension. But he couldn't condense entities that had once appeared and then been destroyed by the Great Annihilation. Therefore, by condensing the particle tracker, he would find the original particles E and the others were once composed of, then wait for the time-space dimensions to reconstruct, and only then could they truly be resurrected. At this moment, Yu Hong felt an unprecedented sense of relief. Gather the particles, condense them into seeds, then establish a safe new land of vitality, plant everyone in there and reverse time. He had already planned out the entire future process. If the positional powers he grasped at the moment were not diminished, this method theoretically could indeed resurrect E and the others. Of course, in this process, the black mark must not stop resting. It should continue to enhance the outer eye until it can no longer be strengthened. This was Yu Hong's prearranged plan. Removing the outer eye, he casually added some original particles to it, then silently strengthened it. Cannot strengthen, outer eye quality has reached its peak. Finally, the scene Yu Hong had imagined countless times appeared. The enhancement of the black mark had finally reached its peak. After confirming it several times, Yu Hong was genuinely certain that the outer eye could no longer be strengthened. He finally lowered his hand and took a long breath. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. 1 year later. In the endless stream of original particles, the front of the black spirit was equipped with a pair of large black metal hands, continuously radiating red light, grasping for something in the void stream. Inside the cabin on the first floor, round pots were placed on the ground. Each pot was filled with dense silver original particle soil. Inside the soil, familiar human heads to Yu Hong were emerging, slowly growing. The particles we encountered today belong to Kuchan. Everyone don't worry, with the particle tracker, finding all the particles is just a matter of time. Yu Hong squatted by the pots, gently stroking the foreheads of the human heads, speaking softly to himself. The heads hadn't recovered yet. There was no movement at all, just silently standing in the pots like sculptures. After watering them one by one, Yu Hong stood to leave. Suddenly, in Yi's pot, the eyelids of the head trembled slightly. Yu Hong stopped abruptly, turning around as if struck by lightning, looking at Yi's head. "You, big brother." Yi's eyes slowly opened, full of drowsiness. "I'm still alive?" "Yes. You just slept for a while. Had a nightmare." Yu Hong slowly walked over, squatted down, gently caressing her face. "Rest assured and sleep a little longer. When you wake up next time, everything will be normal." Yi looked at him, completely unaware of her state. Her eyelids slowly drooping again, pupils dilating, and she fell back into slumber. Yu Hong then stood up with a smile, turning to walk towards the main control room. Next, he needed to continue enhancing the particle tracker with the black mark to speed up particle capture. The chaotic silvery turbulence seemed as if it would never cease. Black spirit roamed within, searching, and only Yu Hong could use the eyes of origin and end to see the beginnings of the original particles, to see if they were a part of Yi, Kuchan, Quan He, and others. To the ordinary eye, the original particles that had undergone the Great Annihilation looked no different from any other original particles. Standing in the main control room, Yu Hong carefully observed the exterior, his perception endlessly sifting through the countless original particles around him. Time passed day by day, year after year, in his perception. Soon, the first one to complete the puzzle was Quan He. Crack! Quan He's flower pot automatically split open, and the silvery gray particles slowly dissipated, revealing her pair of smooth, delicate legs and feet. "My memory still lingers on the day I forgot so many things." Quan He slowly opened her eyes and said softly, "Yu Hong, senior brother." She stepped out of the flower pot, her entire body naturally cloaked in a Taoist robe condensed from mana, covering her body. "It seems you saved me again. Where are we now?" She looked out the window and then at the other flower pot people who were still sleeping beside her. The concept of where no longer exists. Yu Hong, with his back to her, stood by the window, gazing outside. There's nothing outside, only chaos. The Great Annihilation destroyed everything, but I managed to block it at the last moment, preserving the safe house and the spaceship. He turned around, smiling at Quan He. "According to the usual fate of the Great Annihilation, we should all be decomposed into the most basic particles." Quan He looked at him, at this familiar yet now extremely strange fellow disciple. For some reason, she felt that the other person seemed merely a shadow, a moving, talking shadow before her, with the true essence hidden far, far away. "What about the land of vitality?" Quan He asked solemnly. "The land of vitality?" Yu Hong smiled, paused, and raised his hand, pointing out the window. "Look, isn't that it?" Amidst the endless silvery gray, at that moment, a faint white light slowly emerged. Quan He widened her eyes, getting closer, pressing her face tightly against the window. She saw that the white light approached, becoming clearer. It turned out to be a gigantic wall made of white jade stone. Unseen by her, Yu Hong had one hand behind his back, palm clasping a tiny white egg-shaped shadow. The shadow was turning from virtual to real, gradually becoming solid. Meanwhile, the giant white wall outside the window was also simultaneously becoming more concrete. "So, truly is the land of vitality." Quan He's expression tightened, her lips trembling, her eyes pressed firmly against the glass. From the rapidly approaching white jade wall, she felt an indescribable, overwhelming vitality. It was a special mixture formed by the merging of the vitality of heaven, earth, and humanity. This was very clear to her, who had always absorbed vitality for cultivation. Yu Hong, it's real. I thought it was just an illusion, thought it could never be found. Quan He, overwhelmed, pressed tightly against the window, her eyes moistening. Yu Hong didn't speak, just continued to gaze out of the window, a smile on his face. The land of vitality. It seems to have endless vitality and solid boundary walls completely isolating external dangers. Walls protecting us from external erosion. As they closed the distance, Quan He whispered in excitement. We finally have a place to rest. Quan He turned around and hugged Yu Hong, trembling with joy. Yes, the land of vitality has always existed. We just never approached it before. Yu Hong said softly. There are peaceful universes in there, running safely, circulating, like stones in sand. As he spoke, the white egg in his palm started forming countless tiny black particles through positional condensation. If someone could magnify them infinitely, they would see that each was a universe rotating like bubbles. There will also be many pioneers who have arrived before, leaving their history and traces. Yu Hong continued. At the same time, the white egg in his palm started forming monumental structures and traces left by the star god Venerables, based on memories he had encountered before. There should be stars suitable for us to inhabit, right? I want a quiet, undisturbed, vibrant planet like back at Qinghe Mountain. A place with blue skies, white clouds, vast grasslands, and endless deserts. There should still be vast oceans, teeming with fish, sunlight shining, scattering vitality. Quan He smiled, her eyes lit with hope. Is that so? The land of vitality is vast. I'm sure it has the place you desire. Yu Hong smiled. His palm behind him also transformed correspondingly with Quan He's narration. Yes, and Master and the others, if possible, we could go to the main sect of Qinghe Mountain and bring them back. Quan He said halfway before realizing, under the great annihilation, Qinghe Mountain must be gone. It's okay. We can rebuild the new Qinghe Mountain and Wanchua Palace, Yu Hong said. There's no lack of anything there. Everything can come slowly. Yes, as long as there's no threat of the great annihilation, we can take our time to rebuild. Quan He laughed easily. I used to think the land of vitality was just a lie, a trick. Now it seems, it's all true. Yu Hong also smiled. He wouldn't tell her that the land of vitality was something he had just conjured up 10 minutes ago. The real land of vitality never truly existed. The hope of Wuji Heavenly Venerate was nothing but an illusion from start to finish. But the difference now is that he has the ability to turn this illusion into reality. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. 10 years later. Above a vast emerald green grassland, a white jade floating platform with a diameter of 100 meters hovered. On the platform were several sun umbrellas, with fixed lounge chairs beneath them. Quan He and Yi, both in swimsuits, lay back on the chairs, sipping juice and chatting leisurely. Not far away on the platform, there was a sky-blue swimming pool, and in the pool, Ku Chan was carefully holding a little girl a few years old, helping her learn how to move in the water. On the shore beside him, a beautiful woman with sharp features stood with her hands on her hips, holding a child's sippy cup, speaking spiritedly about something. Swoosh! Suddenly, a white light flashed, and Feng Shuezi, covered in black ash, appeared by the poolside. Where's Yu Hong? That kid dumped the task of reconstructing the mountain gate on me and ran off. I've already said I'm still weak, haven't fully recovered, and yet he insists I exert myself. Now look, it blew up. The mountain gate array completely blew up. Feng Shuezi shouted furiously. Uncle Master, this is not the Qinghe Mountain universe of the past anymore. It'll take time for your cultivation to fully recover. Senior brother asked you to help out, hoping to speed up your recovery. Quan He stood up, draped a towel over himself, and walked closer with a smile. I just can't adapt, can I? Feng Shuezi said exasperatedly. Anyway, you're his wife, you talk to him. I think detailed work like reconstruction is best suited for Fu Bai. I'm old and impatient. It's better for me to rest more. Senior brother just went out to salvage old things again. You can speak to him when he gets back. Quan He smiled. You just tell him for me. By the way, over at Floating City, aren't Kuchan's teachers very fast at rebuilding? Why not have your husband get them to help out? Also, can't he help out himself? Always running around salvaging. Didn't they already bring everyone from Floating City and want you a palace back? What's there left to salvage? Husband said there are still a few seniors he admires that haven't been rescued. He approached from the other side. That kid just has a busy life by nature. Feng Shuizi was speechless. You two better be careful. Don't let him bring back a few pretty girls. I heard from Hope City that many young girls even formed a Golden Sparrow Tower. Supposedly all fans of Zheng Ro, worshippers he rescued. Thank you, Uncle Master. Don't worry. And I will keep an eye on him. Quan He laughed it off. Though remembering how I used to wander aimlessly during the source disaster. Now that everything is stable and rebuilt, it all feels like a dream. She smiled and sighed. I feel the same way too. Feng Shuizi pondered and nodded slightly. But on second thought, if it's fake, why am I still getting pushed by that kid to rebuild Qinghe Mountain everywhere? Shouldn't illusions fulfill your desires? Make you not want to wake up? Alright, let's not talk about this. Last time senior brother went out, he said he found you Shuizi's masters. Maybe this time he'll bring them back. Quan He smiled. You Shuizi. Feng Shuizi's spirit lifted. Just as he was about to say more, he suddenly looked up. At this moment, everyone else, Quan He, Kuchan's family, all looked up. In the sky, a silver vortex slowly appeared. From the center of the vortex, black spirit flew out, calm and slow. As it flew out, a door on its side automatically opened. Yu Shuizi, Bai Shang, and Heiying slowly flew out, their faces dazed as they observed the surroundings. Behind them, Yu Hong, clad in a floral shirt and beach shorts with sandals, also flew out, heading straight down to Quan He and Yi. As soon as he flew out a few meters, he saw the blackened Feng Shuizi below. Uncle Master, you're slacking off again. Yu Hong's expression became stern. What do you mean slacking off? I'm a golden immortal. Do you understand what a golden immortal is? It means today I need to rest. I can't rest and play all the time. Why else did I cultivate immortality? Feng Shuizi was dissatisfied. Since junior brother is here, let them take over. I'm leaving. Senior brother. You're still the same. Yu Shuizi laughed. But it's okay. This time Zheng Ro has brought back most of our sect. The reconstruction will require much less effort. Yu Hong shook his head speechlessly, letting the senior brothers reminisce. While he turned and flew toward Quan He and Yi, he had already sensed some movement in their bellies. If nothing unexpected happens, he could finally form his own family here. As he flew closer, he was about to ask about the situation. But Quan He spoke first. By the way, senior brother, after you left this morning, the phone you left on the lab table suddenly rang. It seemed like you got a text message. Phone. Yu Hong was taken aback. He hadn't used a phone in a long time, and the one on the lab table, wasn't that the black phone he used in his past life? But that phone wasn't even connected to the internet, and it was inside an isolation array on the lab table. It shouldn't have received any messages. I'll go check it out, he said. All right. In the next moment, Yu Hong vanished, reappearing in a quiet white lab room. On the chaotic circular lab table, a black phone was ringing with a text message notification sound. Yu Hong was astonished by the timing. He looked around to confirm there was nothing else amiss, and no presence of heart disaster. Only then did he step forward and pick up the black phone. He unlocked it and opened the screen. There was a list of unread messages in the inbox. He casually opened one to read. Old Yu, are you coming to the gathering this weekend? Chan Huiru. His heart trembled, quickly opening other messages. The rest were all carrier advertisements and scam messages. Seems like my reversal time-space processing on the phone worked. Holding the phone, countless black pupils with golden irises suddenly emerged densely on Yu Hong's face. All the eyes looked at the phone screen, and immediately, everything around turned dark and black. Time reversed again, and the phone began to rewind, displaying the entire process when he first came into this world. Soon, in the darkness, faint purple phosphorescence began to appear on the phone's surface. The phosphorescence changed violently every moment, flashing through massive trajectories of light and shadow. Hiss! Suddenly, all the phosphorescence on the phone converged to a single point, shooting out a purple light. The purple light entered the space, as if piercing into some unknown void. Yu Hong gazed at that void, vaguely hearing countless chaotic noises from within. He hesitated for a moment, then stepped forward. The purple light in front of him, as if influenced by his mind, condensed into a purple portal. He had a feeling that through the door, he might see the world he traversed before,